Hello everyone. Today we will read chapter number 1 of class 10th. A triumph of surgery. A triumph of surgery means a victory of surgery. It is about Tricky, a small dog which is pampered and overfed by his rich mistress. He falls seriously ill and his mistress consults a veterinary surgeon. Does he perform an operation? Does the doctor recover? We just find out the answers when we will read the chapters. So, without any further delay, let's start the chapter. I was really worried about Tricky this time. I'd pulled up my car when I saw him in the street with his mistress, and I was shocked at his appearance. He had become hugely fat, like a bloated sausage, with a leg at each corner. His eyes, bloodshot and rheumy, stared straight ahead, and his tongue lolled from his jaws. So, this paragraph means that I means Harriet, James Harriet. So the narrator is saying that he was very worried about Tricky. Tricky is a small dog which we have just which I introduced in the beginning of the chapter to you. Okay, so I means the narrator is saying that he's really worried about Tricky this time because as he just came out from his car, he saw him with his in the street with his mistress. And why he was shocked at his appearance, that he had become hugely flat like a bloated sausage. Sausage means kebab at each at a leg at each corner. His eyes, bloodshot and rheumy, stared straight ahead, and his tongue lolled from his jaws. So he has become hugely fat, like a kebab in Hindi, or we can say minced meat dish in English. Sausage means okay. Next paragraph. Mr. Pomfrey hastened to explain. He was so listless, Mr. Harriet. He seemed to have no energy. I thought he must be suffering from malnutrition, so I have been giving him some little extras between meals to build him up, some malt and cod liver oil and a ball of Horlicks at night to make him sleep. Nothing much really. So, Mr. Pumphrey, the mistress of the dog, the owner of the dog, is hastening to explain because she is giving him so much little extras between meals that he had become fat. But why? Because she's explaining to the narrator that he was so listless, means motionless. He have no energy. So she think that he has been suffering from malnutrition. So she gave him some extra little extras to make him sleep. And did you cut down on the sweet things as I told you? So now the narrator asked her that if she had cut the sweet things which the narrator told her to cut. Oh, I did for a bit, but he seemed to be so weak I had to relent. He does love ice cream cakes and chocolate, so I can't bear to refuse him. I looked down again at the little dog. That was the trouble. Tricky's only fault was grit. He had never been known to refuse food. He would tackle a meal at any hour of the day or night, and I wondered about all the things Mr. Pumphrey hadn't mentioned. So now the Mr. Pumphrey answers that she had she did for a bit, means she had did that she had cut the sweet things, but only for a short time. But he seemed, means the dog Tricky seemed to be so weak that she had to relent. And he does, means the Tricky does love ice creams and chocolates, so she can't bear to refuse him. Then the narrator again looked down at the little dog. The trouble was that Tricky's only fault, means Tricky was greedy. He never refused a food when the mistress just served him the food. He would tackle a meal. He was, means he would finish a meal at any hour of the day and night, means he loved food. He was greedy. And I wondered that the narrator wondered about all the things Mr. Pompey hadn't mentioned, means the Mr. Pompey hadn't mentioned these things, that he was greedy, he just tackle a meal at any hour of the day. She hadn't mentioned to the narrator. Are you giving him plenty of exercises? Well, he has his little walks with me, as you can see, but Hodkin, the gardener, has been down with lumbago, so there has been no ring throwing lately. So now she is saying the narrator asked her that if she was giving him plenty of exercises or not. But she said in negation that Hod- Hodkin, that her gardener was ill. Her gardener was ill with lumbago. It's a kind of diseases of the back pain, you can say. So there's no ring throwing. Ring throwing means a play, a kind of just a game. Okay, so because of that, the gardener, there has been no ring throwing lately. Now let's see what happened next. I tried to sound saved. Now I really mean this. If you don't cut his food right down and give him more exercise, he is going to be very ill. You must harden your heart and keep him on a very strict diet. Now, the narrator gives suggestion in a very strict way that if she didn't cut Tricky's food right down and give him more exercise, then Tricky was going to be very ill. She must harden her heart and keep him on a very strict diet. Mr. Pumphrey wrung her hands. Oh, I will, Mr. Harriet. I'm sure you are right, but this is so difficult, so very difficult. She set off, head down along the road as if determined to put the new regime into practice immediately. So now Mr. Pumphrey folded her hands and she said that she will. She saw that the narrator is right, but it is so difficult for her. Now she set off, her head down, and just walking to the road as if determined, as she is fully determined to put the new process, new suggestion into practice immediately. I watched their progress with growing concern. Tricky was tottering along in his little tweed coat. He had a whole wardrobe of these coats for the cold weather and a raincoat for the wet days. He struggled on, drooping in his harness. I thought wouldn't be long before I heard from Mr. Pumphrey. Now, the narrator is watching their progress with growing concern. He's watching, and now he's telling about Tricky that Tricky was tottering along in his little tweed coat, and Tricky had a whole wardrobe, means a full almari of these coats for the cold weather and a raincoat for the wet days. Mean different seasons he had a different coats, and he was very struggling because he had become a fat, so he was very struggling about that. So this is much we will read today, and I would like to show you the picture. This is the thing, this is the picture of the chapter. This is the rich mistress and the dog. You are seeing that the dog is very hugely fat, and this is the narrator, James Harriet. So this is your part 1. I will meet you in part 2. Thank you for watching the video and have a wonderful day.